So that would include at least in your view, that would include transgender women.
Do they still have dicks?
Yeah, they cut their dick
Sure, let's
off.
say they get rid of the penis.
Yeah, then it's okay.
Okay.
Then it's one. Okay, cut one follow-up on that. Can a male become a female?
Well, okay.
They can do whatever they please and identify with, but personally, I just...
Well, hold on. So I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
So there's gender.
Can a man become a
hold on.
woman?
No. There's gender and sex. So I'm
Yes.
talking gender. A man can become a woman? I think some of you are going to say yes. If we're talking about sex, can a male become a female?
If it's not about gender, no.
Okay.
Can a male become a female?
I don't think I get the question.
Can you scoot your mic that way?
I think
a
I
little bit?
do.
Yeah.
So the separation between sex and gender. Gender is your expression of how you identify. Sex is your actual,
Chromosomes,
physical
yes.
body.
Yes.
Can a male actually become a female?
Quick answers if
Yes.
you can, guys.
Yes.
If they're a hermaphrodite and you have both inside of you,
I'm speaking in generalities here. I'm not looking for the.
I'm even willing to
The
accept
fringe.
I'm
Yeah.
actually willing to accept the specifics. So if you think a hermaphrodite can become the other sex, I think that's fine.
yeah.
Okay.
But but I don't think we got really definitive there. Can a male become a female?
So if he was presenting, but he has ovaries,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
But that's okay. But how about there aren't birth defects? Like an otherwise normal, healthy male, can they become a female?
He can't have. He can become a woman, but female with
sure.
ovaries. If you're looking
Can't
at
become a female.
biological,
Okay. What
sure.
about you?
No.
No. Not completely the same as...
Okay. I just want to point out, all of you who said a woman is this, that, you're all you're all science deniers. All of you are science deniers. Biology is a hard science.
Hard.
It's not a soft science like psychology and sociology.
And economics.
Hard sciences like biology, for example, with established facts, it's not up for negotiation. It's not up for debate.
Sure.
Just to be clear.
I think that depends. So for me, I would ask this. Why do you, specifically you, as a hetero, married, happily, as you mentioned, man, why do you care?
Well, I'll dive into it and I'll show you why. Actually, this is I'm sorry. I know I was having a conversation. You couldn't help but butt in. Go ahead.
I feel like I kind of
And I don't
understand
care.
why.
But anyway, so back to this conversation over here. I can't
I'm
believe
on
that you
your
just
side.
butted in while we were having the discussion. But you couldn't help yourself. But here's the thing. I think that that's a fair question. And I'll explain my position. But let's start with this. I want to show you something that's super important.
Okay.
In philosophy, we call this an infinite regress. An infinite regress would be if I ask you, in this case, for a definition, and you give me the thing that I'm asking about as the definition, it infinitely regresses. And I'm going to show you how this works in real time. So I asked you, what is a woman? And you said a woman's anybody who identifies as a woman. That seems fair, right? Okay. Is she a woman?
To me, looking at her sitting here, yes.
Am I a woman?
No, because you definitely don't present and have stated that you are not.
That seems fair, that there's distinctions between the two of us. Mm-hmm. So if I ask the criteria again, what differentiates me from her? If you say a woman's anyone who identifies as a woman, okay, I'm a woman.
All right.
What differentiates us now?
Well, despite the fact you became a woman 5 seconds
Sure.
ago.
But I am now.
Physically.
What
just the physical.
What differentiates us?
The physical characteristics of being female. At this point in your transition, ma'am, that's a big difference.
And what are those differences?
I don't see boobs. I don't think there's a vagina present.
Then it sounds to me like when you say woman, you actually don't mean anybody who says woman, because that doesn't give you enough information. It sounds like you mean there has to be other criteria there.
Just
Otherwise,
off
how could
looking.
you? Yeah, otherwise, how could you make the distinction?
Because you would tell me, like you just did, you would say, guidance, I'm a woman. And from there on out, I would respect you.
But why
as a
is
woman.
it that you would instantly see her as a woman and not instantly see me as one?
But the same reason why you would look at me and say African American and not Latina.
That makes
Hispanic.
sense. So if I were to say like black definitionally, I might point to like skin, I might point to hair, I might point to all sorts of physical differentials,
right.
I would not say anybody who identifies as black, would I?
Nope.
Why?
Because you can't really and truly choose that race is different than sex.
Yeah, but hang on.
back to
Before,
earlier,
I'm not
like-
saying they're the same.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just
there's-
asking
so
you
why
this.
compare
I'm just
them?
asking you this one question.
Yep.
What would make me not black?
You're not. You don't. You're
So
not
if you
black.
gave a definition of black versus white, you would be pointing to criteria,
'Cause that's
which made a
race.
differential between black and white.
You can't
But how is
choose
it
that,
you can
though.
look at
Michael
me and
Jackson
say,
did.
how is it that you can look at me and say man? Look at her and say woman.
Because you are
But the second
presenting
I
as
say,
man.
but I identify as a woman, suddenly those distinctions go away. That's an infinite regress. What that means is, what is a woman? A woman's anyone who says they're a woman. Yeah, but what is that though? Well, anyone who says they're that thing. But what is that? Anyone who says they're that. But what is it though? It's anyone who says they're it, right?
I don't think the people. There's no one asking that question.
Yeah, but
other than
that's what they
people
are
like
asking.
you.
And what- that
that's
is what they're asking. And so the thing
That's
is,
what y'all are asking.
Yeah, it
but
is what-
true
it is
people
what we
who
all are asking.
on that spectrum,
But
we
it's
don't
super-
care.
but it-
no
no,
one
yeah,
else
I know you
cares
don't care, but it's
other
super important
than
to us.
Men who are not happy with the state
yeah,
of
but it's
males
still
in the
super
country.
important to
and the
us
world.
because
To who's us?
Yeah, so
Who's
to the
us?
people who don't believe in the ideology
There you go.
of,
I think that
of
answers
wait
it,
a
doesn't
second,
it?
anybody can just identify as anything to become that thing. You say, no, they can't. But when I say, what's a woman? You say, anybody who identifies as a woman. I say, well, what distinguishes me from her? This. And then I say, okay, so what is a woman? Well, anybody who identifies as a woman. You're not pointing at anything. You have an empty label. It points to nothing.
I think because
Listen. I want to explain this so that
You've
you
been
know.
explaining it.
It's a logical. It's actually logically fallacious.
Mm-hmm.
It's called an infinite regress fallacy. What you're doing is you're infinitely regressing. So you're just always saying the same thing, but never pointing to anything. So if I were to tell you, or if I were to ask you, what's a guitar? And you said anything I point to and say it's a guitar. Have you told me what a guitar is?
No. But I think most people, when you say guitar, they form an image of a guitar in their mind.
Yeah,
so
I
if
agree.
you just say, I mean, hey, if
I
you
totally
want to play
agree.
a drum as a guitar, you can do that. But I think
I totally agree with
we're
this.
removing the human experience from all
No,
of
that
this.
it's only the
because-
human experience which can identify what is a guitar. Who can make a
Right.
guitar besides a human?
Oh, I don't know.
Nobody. Nothing can make a guitar but a human, as far as we know. So if that's the case, when I say, what is a guitar? And you say anything I point to and say it's a guitar, you say, that tells me nothing. I agree. If I asked you this question, and just describe it for me,
Mm-hmm.
what is a guitar?
An instrument with strings.
What does it look like?
There's so many shapes of guitars.
Yeah, but what do they generally at least look like?
long stick, strings, and a bottom part. I don't even know what you call
So
that.
based on that, I can at least say that I can rule out everything without strings as an instrument as not being a guitar, right?
Sure. If
Now
you
we're getting
choose.
to what a definition is, right?
Sure.
And that's the distinction between an empty label and a definition. When you say that's a guitar, at least I can point to what that is. When you say anything I point to is a guitar, that tells me fucking nothing about what a guitar
So
is.
are we so simple-minded in 2025
No,
that
broad-minded.
if we don't have a distinct
Hang on.
description for a person, their sexuality, their preferences, if we can't define it, it's not right. If
Not
we
even-
can't define, no, I listened to you for a long time.
Okay, go ahead.
If we can't define it, it's wrong. If we can't define it, it's confusing. If we can't define it, it's not scientific. There are a lot of things in science and biology and history and art that are undefinable. You cannot define a person. And honestly, just blatantly speaking, people like you do not have a seat at the table because it's not for you.
We're the only ones who have the seat at the table.
That table is just for y'all. But I would think that I know that the people who are on the rainbow spectrum, we don't care.
Yeah, but the
But
thing
y'all
is
do, and it's interesting because I feel all I hear behind it to me is we don't understand y'all, so we feel threatened.
No,
by
no.
it. Why? What are you
what's so
threatened by?
interesting is, like,
Does my fake
it sounds-
penis really do
But
something
it
that
sounds
big to
me
the
like you're
male
saying
ego?
it
Does my
sounds to
strap
me
really
like
do that?
You do understand.
I guess it does.
You do understand us.
Wow.
It sounds to me like you're saying you do understand us, and we feel threatened by that.
No.
So, well, it
I
has
feel
to.
like
It
you
has to
have
be the
to
case. It has to be the
define
case.
us. Why do you have to define us?
Well, here's the thing. It has to be the case.
Does it?
Yeah, logic. You can't beat logic.
You can't put logic to love and human experience.
Right, you can't
though.
put logic.
It's unquantifiable.
Right, logic is the one thing you can't ever refute.
Is love logical? Have you
Yes.
experienced love?
Actually,
logic?
love is logical. Yes.
Or is it emotion? It can be. And
No,
when
it's
it
not.
gets
Can
to
be.
that
It
point,
is logical.
No, we just ran
It
the
is
experiment.
logical.
No. We just ran the experiment in front of
Okay.
everyone here.
Yeah.
Based on swipes.
Yeah.
There's no logic in a swipe. You get a 5-6 second. Oh, I like that. I don't like that. I like what I see. I don't like what I see. And
Well,
then you get into the deeper.
Hang on. Let me
parts
respond.
of
Let me
that
respond.
person.
Let me respond. Actually, there is. Not only is there a logic to it, but the whole reason we're having the discussion is about the logic of it. Just because
dating?
if you say, well, what happens, Andrew, is that there's an influx of emotion which, based on these emotions, humans have interactive experiences where they swipe left, swipe right, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's within the compliance of logic. There's absolutely nothing illogical about that. Saying I have emotions, therefore I act on emotions, logically follows. There is nothing illogical about that. There is, however, something highly illogical about giving an empty label to a definition of a thing you're trying to describe. That's completely illogical.
I don't think the label can't. I mean,
It's
I don't
not
know
a
the
label.
history of it.
We're not talking about labels. We're talking about defining a thing so that it can be even understood.
At the end of the day, I don't care what the person, who the person I'm interact with, whatever their label or definition for themselves is. That's great for them.
So would it
That's
be fair to say you don't care about logic?
I don't care about descriptors and
Which would be
definitions of
logic. So
humans.
can you even have logical interactions without descriptors?
Heck yeah.
How?